PWCC is a great way to sell your sports cards. If you're looking for a way to support the Cajun Cardboard YouTube channel, consider using the promo code Cajun, all caps, CAJUN, when you're selling your cards on the PWCC marketplace. Hey guys, Brian with Cajun Cardboard coming at you from the great state of Louisiana with mail day number 128. We are going to do 10 more cards, 10 more Michael Jordan cards. Some of these cards did arrive from the cross-country collection in fresh PSA grades, but some of them did not. So here you go. Let's get you cranking over here. You guys know how I do it. I'm going to try to keep this to 10, 12, 15 minutes, although there are three huge cards, three really tough to find cards that we really need to look up that have some pretty impressive values. I think you guys are going to like this list. Okay, so let's start the slideshow. Here we go. In my PWCC Vault, this is a card you're actually going to see twice. So I sort of cheated. I accidentally graded, well, I didn't accidentally. I graded two of these exact 1996 Upper Deck Predictor scoring 1, 35 points in a game. Card number P3. I graded two of these from the cross country collection, and both of them graded a PSA 9. There's a long story behind these cards. If you want to know more about them, I forgot everything I learned, but Josh Dawson explained them to me. You get these cards, and then if something happens, you can redeem them, and you get a TV sale card or something. I don't honestly remember. They don't strike me as all that attractive, to be quite honest with you, but they're a little bit cooler in hand. They're tough to grade because they're very pointy. There's four very sharp corners, and then the back edges are also super susceptible, and so you can see some whitening here. You can see a little bit of edge wear at the top. That's how it got a 9 instead of a 10. So that's card number 1 on our mail day number 128. Card number 2 is a placeholder, but a PSA 10 is going to be really tough to find. It's not the rarest card in the world, but PSA 10s are just hard to come by. I thought this one had a chance, but it came back a PSA 9, so it will be a placeholder in my collection until the 10 shows up. This is the 1995 Topps Showstoppers. This card does appear in Tier 4 of the Michael Jordan hierarchy, so keep that in mind and keep it on your radar. But that's the card. The back of the card is really cool looking. It's got spotlights on the back. Showstoppers. If I were you, if you're searching this, I would search one word. I would search 2 words on eBay. You guys know how to do that by now. The next one, cross-country collection card, miserable, impossible card to grade. PSA 8 is a very high grade for this card. This is a very rare card. This card also appears in the cross-country collection. It is really good looking in hand. It is heavily embossed. A PSA 8 was a great result on this because there's a story. I sent this card to PSA and it came back men's size. They wouldn't grade it. I think I sent it again, and it came back men's size again. But being the stubborn Cajun that I am, I put a little voodoo on the card, and don't take that the wrong way. I didn't doctor or alter the card. Just sprinkled some, intangible Cajun voodoo on it, sent it back to PSA, and guess what? It came back graded the third time. Apparently, the card got larger, and so this Vortex came back a PSA 8, which thrilled me to the bone. That is a really, really good grade for this card. This is a good-looking copy, too. PSA 8's a great result. I think at one point a long time ago I had like a BGS 7, but these cards are there's just not that many of them out there. The pack odds are tough, and then they just don't grade well. So 8 for that is really good. This one, cross-country collection result, I'm almost positive, came back a 10, which is great. Don't have it, don't own it. Adding it to the collection. It's the 1995 Upper Deck Special Edition. If you're searching for this card, my best advice on eBay or wherever you're searching is to put in the alternate thing, just like we talked about with Showstoppers, 1 and 2 words, Special Edition, and just the letters SE adjacent to each other to make sure you don't miss it. 1996 Topps Chrome Season's Best, and this is the first time we'll take a detour. This was definitely a card that came back from PSA for me from the cross-country collection. I did submit it raw. Remember, guys, there's 2 cards in the 1996 Topps Chrome Season's Best insert set. There's this Topps, there's the Season's Best Sticky Fingers, then there's the Season's Best in Fuego. Both of those cards come from the same insert set, and there's 2 versions of each. I say that. There's a Topps Chrome of each, and there's a Topps of each. So those are technically 2 different insert sets. But let me show you what I just finished up. I got them all. So now I've got the 96 Topps Season's Best in Fuego, card number 1, PSA 10. The Chrome PSA 10 in Fuego. Then I've got the Topps Sticky Fingers and the Topps Chrome Sticky Fingers, all PSA 10. So PSA 40 right there. That set is complete, and I can put this to bed. I don't know about y'all. I know we're talking about the Topps Chrome that came in this mail day number 128, but I like the Topps version better. There's your Topps version. There's your Topps Chrome version. It's just duller, the Topps Chrome is. There's your Topps Sticky Fingers with the waviness in the background. I don't even know what you want to call that texture and that kind of pattern, but there's the Topps Sticky Fingers. There's the Topps Chrome Sticky Fingers. It just pops more to me. Am I crazy? I'm always going to go, very rarely do I do this, but I'm going to go Topps over Topps Chrome when it comes to those two particular 96 Seasons Best inserts. So happy to grab that Chrome to finish out that quartet of Gem Mint PSA 10s. The 1994 Stadium Club members only MJ with Starks here, Ewing there in the background, and MJ right in the middle. This card reminds me of the game Simon. Do you remember the game Simon? If you're old as shit like me, and I grew up in Louisville, Kentucky, and that's where I played Simon, and maybe a little bit down here in Louisiana. But there used to be this little round game, and it was electronic. So you had to put batteries in it, and then it had red, blue, green, and yellow, and it would make noises, and the lights would light up, and the game had this random pattern, and you would have to basically recite and recount the pattern that came in. So it would go like one at a time. So if it went beep yellow, you'd go beep yellow, and then it would go beep, boop, yellow, red, and then you'd go beep, boop, yellow, red, and so on, and you tried to get as many in a row as possible. Basically, it was testing your memory and driving you crazy. But this members only looks like that Simon game, except you got to get rid of this purple and put a yellow in there. But that is a slight diatribe and a slight digression from the topic at hand. This is the members only right here. So there's your members only stamp, so you know it's in fact a members only card. PSA 10 of that is really nice to add. And then this is where shit gets wild, right? Let's just talk about it. This shocked me. I sent 3 copies of this card to PSA. This card does not grade well, and we're about to look at the pop report. It came back 10, 9, and 9. So not only did I hit a freaking grand slam home run, when we're talking about the 10, look at the gem rate here, guys. This is what you saw in the thumbnail, a 2.15%. This is not the rarest card ever. It looks like an insert, but it's not. It's a base card, but it's a high quality, really tough base card. Over 2,600, over 2,700 times it's been graded. Look how many PSA 10s, only 44. That is a 2.15%. Even the PSA 9s are rare and have value. $225 in a PSA 9 slab. I'll take it all day long. So I get to sell for about $400, $500, and then I get to keep this bad boy, which is about a $2,800 card, maybe more. It just depends. We'll look at it. There's your chart. Let's go back a little bit. Let's go back to a year. All right, so pretty steadily a $2,900 card on average over the last year, I guess, depending on the PSA 10 that's for sale, but only 44 in the world, so I love it. So that's the first big boy card right here, and then right after this, as unlikely as that was to grade a 10, I think this next card was even more unlikely to grade a 10. You're not going to believe this. The 97 Clutch Time. I graded a 10 myself. If you thought the Pop 44 was low for the 96 EX2000, wait till you see the Pop report for this Clutch Time insert. Again, a card that will appear in the Michael Jordan hierarchy in Tier 4 as well. 8.9% gem rate, so a higher gem rate than the EX2000, but this bitch has only been, excuse my language, this thing's only been graded 125 times. There's only 7 PSA 10s in the world. Mine's one of them, and I am thrilled about it. So this was a card where, if I had a 9, I would assume I'm going to have the 9 for eternity, Cajun Eternity, but no, somehow the PSA gods favored me on that fateful day, and I picked up a PSA 10 from PSA. Here's the card. Look at this. If you go back to 2011, that's 12 years ago. 12 years ago, the card in a PSA 10 has only sold 5 times in 12 years. I don't want to tell you what it was selling for, and you can see it on your screen, what it was selling for in 2011, 2012. But look at this card's trajectory, 76, 70, 263, 314. Then it jumps all the way to 1599. I know for a fact if this card came to auction right now, let's see what Card Ladder thinks it's worth today, $13.39. I'm calling BS on that. This card would sell for way over $2,000 if it came to market now. The way people are chasing PSA 10s, and it doesn't hurt that it's a hierarchy card. Of course, that is not my intention. Was not my intention in doing the project. Obviously, I'm still trying to get a lot of these damn cards. But very rare card right there. Really cool looking card in hand. We've got Ostertag and Hornacek trying to guard Jordan. It looks like Hornacek's mouth is near Jordan's testicles. I don't know if that was the intention. If maybe a Bulls fan puts it together, but shame on Hornacek. He wasn't going to contest the shot for sure. But Jordan going up for his picturesque, perfect textbook form jump shot. Sorry, I'm coughing still. And there's your clutch time in the background, sort of with that old school, yellow digital scoreboard type, old school digital scoreboard stuff in the background. So clutch time is a big pickup. Again, pop 7. And then the last one, not the last one, but the next card is also just a very rare, very difficult card to find in a PSA 10 condition. And another card I pulled from the cross country collection that I graded myself that came back a 10. And it's the 1995 Hoops Number Crunchers. You will find this card in the hierarchy in Tier 4 as well. This is a really easy card to get your hands on and a really inexpensive card to get your hands on. Here's the pop report. It's been graded almost 1,000 times, but there's that gem rate, single digit, 6.44%. We've looked at 3 cards in this mail day of 10 cards alone. All came back from PSA. All single-digit gem percentages, which is just crazy. That means at least 1 in 10 chance, and then when you're talking about the EX2000 base, 1 in 50 chance, right, at a 2% gem rate. So it's only a pop 55 in PSA 10. You can see lots of 9s and 8s exist. 8's kind of the most common grade, obviously, is what it looks like, 313 out of 854, but only 55 gem PSA 10s out there. If we look at the sales price history of this card, it crescendoed here at $1,260, obviously in January. And then a couple weeks later, somebody picked it up for $866. So that is a card. Let me make sure. Yeah. So that was mine, fresh grade right there. Yep. So who knows what that card will go for the next time it sells? Probably around $866, $900, something like that. I guess people will look at the comps and maybe average them or make an educated decision. But the numbers crunchers in PSA 10 is rare indeed. And one thing I did notice is, number one, these look like soccer balls in the background. And if you don't look close, you won't notice that's in purple or magenta. That is the number 23, which a lot of people don't know this. That was Michael Jordan's jersey number. Just kidding. Soccer balls in the background or some kind of earth globe things, whatever. And then you got your tic-tac-toe crunchers little logo down there. But then Jordan's wearing this black wrist brace down here in the left-hand column. So that just adds a little bit of character and discussion regarding the card. Back of the card is just really colorful, really tough to grade. Next and last, another copy of the same one we looked at first. So that's it, guys. Another scoring, 96 Upper Deck Predictor P3. There's our slideshow. 2 P3 Upper Deck Predictor scoring 1 thingies. A placeholder Showstoppers 9. The Vortex 8 is probably about as good as I can hope for. The SE 100 came in at PSA 10. That's great. I completed my quartet of the season's best, both Sticky Fingers and in Fuego. A nice members only PSA 10 is always a good addition to the collection. And then the 3, just crazy unlikely. The 96 EX 2010, the Clutch Time 10, and the Numbers Crunchers 10 is just not expected from PSA. It would have been a car, those are cards that I'm paying 4 figures for if I have to pick them up off eBay or Instagram private sale or Facebook or something like that. So those were awesome, huge welcome additions to the Jordan PC. That's it, guys. Mail day number 128 in the books. This one ran a little long because there's some cool stuff in here. I just really wanted you guys to see this. I am really excited about adding those 3 single-digit PSA 10 gem percentage pop cards to the collection for obvious reasons. So thank you guys, as always, for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments. Which card do you like the most from these 10 cards that I just showed you today? And by the way, if any of these placeholders, if anybody's sitting on these in PSA 10, obviously I'm always willing to look, and I'm pretty aggressive as far as price goes if the card makes sense and fits nicely into my collection. I always appreciate you guys tagging along with me on these mail days. Again, these are kind of weird because I'm really doing them for therapeutic reasons, just to kind of recount and keep track of what's coming in and what's coming out and kind of how it fits in my collection in the grand scheme of things and why I wanted the card in the first place, and kind of talking through that. So this is sort of self-help, and personal accounting, but as well as being able to share with you guys just some cool looking cards. So hopefully you guys like them. If you got an idea of how I can make these mail days better, and don't say talk less, because I try my best. I'm just terrible at that. Please let me know in the comments. I'm always trying to get better for you guys. So if there's anything out there I'm doing poorly or I could do better, please let me know. Anyway, thank you guys as always for coming along for the ride. Keep collecting, stay positive in the hobby, and peace.